This is the TIP Network, where we help you level up
for self-improvement
with a little sprinkle of sarcasm. And what do we have today?
We have Mr. Bill Burr.
And another edition.
Comedically, Legend. Legend. I don't know why I said Legion. The legend.
And this is another edition of Tip Reacts. Here we go. Bill Burr.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what the is going on. But I think white women started it. The worst. It's all they do is bitch, moan, and complain. I had no idea how difficult it was to be a white woman in the United States of America. Evidently, it's really difficult. Yeah, they're always bitching. Do you have any idea what it's like to be me? Well, I imagine it would be slightly less awesome than my life. What happened to you today, sweetheart, huh? No, it's unreal. I'm really annoyed how white women have the fucking balls to throw my white privilege in my face. Try to separate themselves from these white males with their white male privilege. It's like, you're sitting in the jacuzzi with me. The are you talking about?
I chose that for a reason.
Why? Oh, God.
So first of all,
I feel like I'm gonna walk on eggshells right now. Oh no! All right,
half your family gonna be mad.
See, I'm not even sure I can even say this, Grover. Right? I'm half white, but then again, I'm also now part of half of the patriarchy. I don't know. It definitely wasn't treated as such.
You're half patriarchy. That means you can just halfway have an opinion.
Halfway, yeah. That is.
You can halfway have an opinion. When you be talking, you got to halfway
think
shut
about
the
it.
hell
We
up.
kind of self-censored it, or you actually had to rethink of what you're going to say, because you always got to be worried about things like this, right?
Well, here's the thing. So, like, man, what he's saying is he's giving a direct critique on the movement as it stands right now, and he's like, hold on a second.
Explain how's the movement standing right now?
Well, the movement stands right now where like a lot of people and it's spearheaded. I'm saying this is spearheaded by people who have been in very privileged positions in the United States. Not as privileged as the top, but it's not like you were on a bottom rung of nothing. And you're sitting there saying, well, you patriarchal man, you did this to us and down with you. And it's like, hold on a second.
And it's starting to blanket on almost all men, right?
All men, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, hold on a second. You have lived a nice life also. It's not like you were just like, it's not like you were drinking out of the colored water faucets in your dilapidated housing. You know, you also lived a life of privilege, and now you turn around, 40 years later and say, well, you know what? You just shut up. Thanks for providing this life of privilege we have, but you just shut the hell up now. I'm on their side. And it's not even on our side, because most of the times, like, most minorities are like, you're not even really down with the movement. You're just here for the photo op.
No, you're here for the photo op.
We feel most of the time. I feel like you're here for the gram, for the photo op.
People were like during the the protests that happened a couple years ago with picking up fake or actual real hammers, asking the worker that was repairing windows or boarding up stuff for the hammer to do a photo op and then give the hammer back.
That was somebody on the news, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, man,
and to jump in real quick, I'm around a good majority, or not majority, but a good amount of white women, right? Not every white woman is pushing this kind of agenda.
Absolutely.
Right? In fact, this is what I've noticed. There's people that push a certain agenda, and they're usually the loudest on social media. There's a good amount of white women that really don't want to be on social media, and they think the opposite way. That's all I got to just chime in with.
Well, that's the thing. So, like, if you're loud and you're this and that, and you're doing all this stuff for those views or for attention or to show you're part of something, and it's like, the thing that gets me is half the time they don't even go and even do anything. It's like just what used to infuriate me, that you see folks and they were always talking about how liberal and how this and that, and then when my big butt would walk by the car and he'd see them lock their doors and they'd be like, oh my God, here he comes! Oh. But it's like, okay, but you're down, right? You're down, but you're terrified. You're down, but you're terrified in the neighborhood, or it's just even like people who are. How many times, like, this Filipino cat was up in Pacific Heights, and he
Pacific Heights
is the richest neighborhood in San Francisco, right?
Yep.
So he was at Pacific Heights. He owned a house up there. He was actually high up in the tech company, and he, and this lady came in here, and he wrote on his side of his sidewalk where he owned, like, on his property, he wrote Black Lives Matter, right? And he wrote that. And this white lady came out and says, you shouldn't write that here. You don't live here. And he was like, no, this is my house. No, it's not your house. And she's just super liberal, super liberal, San Francisco liberal, right? Call the police on this guy, and all this. The police come out, it's like, it's his house. He can do what he wants. She's like, well, how was I supposed to know it's your house? I don't know.
I know the clip you're talking about. Yeah. And he states it out on right, like, I own this house. I'm gonna do what I want on my own property.
Yeah, so and it's like, and so and this is what this strikes me as. It's that like what Bill Burr is doing is calling out his own kind, his own folks, his own women, and saying,
are they?
How are you gonna pigeonhole me when you know like
you're in the hot tub with me?
You were in the jacuzzi living a good life until like last year. Now all of a sudden I'm the bad guy.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, all right, so Bill Burr, it seemed you actually even said this to me. You said that Bill Burr has a bigger following of African American black people than Dave Chappelle does.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah. Like I always noticed that. Like
so, and then for me being half white, and of course my relatives are white. I have nephews, nieces that are majority white or white, and so it's like, how I say this? Bill Burr would be part of the male patriarchy, the white male patriarchy, but in fact he's now becoming like a second class citizen to the movement, and it's just fascinating to see him being the white male patriarchy, sounding the alarm on this while at the same time taking the taking the punches as it is.
Well, I mean, like Bill Burr was saying, he's like, I'm not going to deny that I had some advantages, but don't act like you didn't have advantages too. All of a sudden, that's what I've always said. I've always said, like, when folks came up and they were like, oh well, this is just that. I was like, you live in the biggest house on the block. What are you talking about? Like, your life is good because of what happened here.
So what's the reasoning? Why would people even say things like that?
I don't know. Like people say
to get a part where Bill Burr has it part of his stand-up.
Well, Bill says it because he thinks it's absolutely ridiculous, and I think it's absolutely ridiculous too, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious that he's calling it out, right? So the first rule of comedy is it funny? Is it funny? Funny is far more important than the truth in comedy, right? Because you stretch the truth and this and that. But what he's saying is he's like, look. How can you call out other folks when you were living the life with us? And why do I think other people do it? Some people say it's for guilt. Some people say it's this or that. I think it's virtue signaling. I think it's virtue signaling.
So the first one, the number one main reason why people do it is virtue signaling?
To me, yeah, it's virtue signaling. It's like, I want to show that I'm cool with this right now. And you know what? I don't really have to do anything to be cool with it. I'm not going to give up anything.
You can tweet about it, retweet. And things like
that. I can tweet, retweet. I can talk to this, maybe get in somebody's face or this and that. But let's be real. Okay, give up all your wealth for it.
Yeah.
Well, wait. Huh? Oh, you quiet now.
It's like giving up your iPhone, right? And protesting against bad business practices where we go into another country, mine their resources, pay for bottom of the barrel labor costs. Yeah. Right? It's the same thing.
And film it on your iPhone.
And film it on your iPhone and tweeting away.
Yeah.
And using the energy. Yeah. Well, and also another thing is, do you think this would have happened without the advancement and the advent of social media?
No, not to the extent it was, because before the people who marched in the 60s, white folks who marched in the 60s, they were putting their life on the line. Like they actually
didn't even know it was going to be recorded.
Yeah, they didn't know it was recorded, but they would get beat. There were people who went down to like from New Jersey and New York and stuff to register people to vote. Right? They like a lot of them didn't come back. So it's like
it was broken. Too.
It was serious business. They get beat up. Like Mississippi burning was literally about the FBI investigating folks who were down there. Registering folks to vote, right, and helping with the voting rights. So there's no way that it's going to be a situation where they were just gonna, that it was more skin in the game. But now the skin in the game is just a retweet. The skin in the game is just going somewhere and being allowed in a safe place. So yeah, it's not.
And really. What do you? Since I'm part of the community, I'm adjacent of the community, but in your opinion, what is the black community's thoughts on this sort of virtue signaling? I mean, is it seen? Is it apparent at all, or not?
Like my dad would say, he'd be like, "What's wrong with this white woman? You're just gonna go back up. You're just gonna go back on the hill, And
it's not all white women. We're talking about particular prototype.
But let's keep it real.
Yeah, right.
If you sit here over the top, this, that, and this, and you ain't really down to assist.
And assisting by...
And if you're not down to assist with finances, or if it's not finances with volunteering, you know, like you want to see something...
With sweat equity, right?
Yeah, you want to see something change in the community. You're like,
lending your time.
Why don't these guys down here know this or know that? All right, well, go down there and teach a workshop. I taught an interview workshop for years. Go down there and teach a workshop, teach these young guys. Or are you volunteering? You know, you volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club. Yeah, don't volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club in the suburbs. Go down there and volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club that's really underdeveloped in the urban areas to see if maybe you can help some folks out and teach some arts and crafts and run a homework workshop or something like that. That's how you help. That's how you help, because you got to help one person at a time, and it's a losing battle. But you know what happens is when these folks come back and they're somebody who you really helped out. I got one more clip to react to, and then we could close this one out. But Bill Burr is special.
Yeah, he's very special.
Here we go.
I feel f***ing triggered.
This is how screwed up my country is right now. You know Bryan Cranston, right? That dude did a movie. He played a quadriplegic, and people gave him being like, why is there an able-bodied person playing a quadriplegic? It's like, it's because it's called acting. You dumb.
All right. So let's stop it. Let's stop it there, because he drops a few more F-bombs. The algorithm will bury us.
Well, or you got to make my job harder.
Bleeping.
Yeah.
But, man, it's like, is this what it's come to? Where people are actually complaining. We're so want to be politically correct right now. We actually thought that Bryan Cranston was taking away a job of somebody.
Excellent movie, by the way. Him and Kevin Hart.
Literally the best acting job I've ever seen Kevin Hart do. Right, and Kevin Hart's a monster, right? He's a monster on film. He's funny. This and that. He was funny. He was dramatic. He played angry. He did a great job, right? But they're like, oh well, Bryan Cranston, he wasn't actually a paraplegic. So why didn't you have a paraplegic play it? Why do you have an able-bodied person play it? And it's like, okay, stupid. It's acting, right? It's acting. It's not real life. Why didn't they say, all right, well, Kevin Hart is really not a health aide. Why didn't they get mad at Kevin Hart for being a health aide?
Yeah.
Why didn't they get mad at the entire production? Because none of those folks are actually what they're playing, because they're actors. It's acting. You go there, you sit down, you're entertained, you're taking it way too serious, and it's just another case of virtue signaling. You sat there, you enjoyed the movie, but you couldn't let yourself enjoy it all the way. You had to complain about something, and you are the human toilet paper of life.
The human toilet paper of life, okay.
Yes.
What kind? Of the Charmin soft or?
You are the Dollar Tree one-ply toilet paper that rips as soon as you use it.
I think it's Scott Tissue, right? Bearing my name.
The Scott Tissue. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, God.
So what do you think about that?
I don't know. I think it's...
Dude, you have like tears in your eyes laughing at Bill Burr, dude.
No, it's like... Our culture of complaining it's ridiculous.
Yes.
We have bigger issues, bigger problems all around the world. Literally, there's the financial markets and societies are in trouble right now because the whole tension's over in Eastern Europe.
The financial markets are breakdancing and not the way you want it to.
All right, and that leads into the whole inflation and going to all these different... There's just too much stuff. And we're nitpicking on who is this actor, that we need to have proper representation in Hollywood with a person with an actual physical ailment, in this case, a person with, affected by being quadriplegic, to be playing that role. It's mind-boggling. Like, you can see... I'm stuttering so much because it's warping my mind. And I just left out an F-bomb. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I mean, I was looking at it when I first heard this. I was like, well, how many quadriplegic actors are there? What if they were booked for something else?
There is one, but he had passed away.
Yeah, well, they're booked for something else. They're booked for what? Maybe they were booked for something else, I mean...
It's too much. It's too much. It's really reaching out for things. It's wanting to complain just to complain.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
Well, I love Bill Burr.
Yeah. Bill Burr was awesome.
Bill Burr is
Watching him at the comedy show, how he delivered everything.
Yeah.
And pointing out the inconsistencies. And the fact that he did it in the liberal Bay Area and people still loved him.
Yeah.
Because he comes from like a blue collar background, or at least
Yeah, he's
how
from-
his comedy is coming
He's
from.
from Boston,
From Boston.
Super blue collar, down to earth.
And so he's an important voice.
Introduced to me via the Dave Chappelle show. Went on tour with Charlie Murphy. It was Bill Burr, Charlie Murphy, and Donnell Rawlins with the On Rich Bitch tour, and did that. And Donnell Rawlins was like coming after Bill Burr every day. He was a monster, and like some
Patrice O'Neal would also get into it with him.
Yeah,
too.
Patrice O'Neal, good friends with Patrice O'Neal. So
Yeah,
I think definitely a little foreshadowing probably will be on in the YS series.
The YS series,
Probably
yeah.
the YS
'Cause
series.
Bill Burr is very important to
Yeah.
the culture,
He's
and he acts like a bridge
Yeah.
to many different social classes, races,
The angry Irish people and
to
black
media.
people. So look, man.
Oh wait,
you got
one
something
thing.
else?
Okay, so all right, this I know it's a bit of a tangent, but stay with me. Talking about Patrice O'Neal, I like to refer to him because Patrice O'Neal is the godfather or the grandfather of
Yeah, that's what we
the
call it,
Burr illness,
grandfather.
right?
Yeah. Or just the truth, you know.
The story of how Kevin Hart had Patrice O'Neal staying over at his
Oh
place.
no! We can't go. No, let's do that. Let's do that separately, dude. That's hilarious. Let's react to that story separately, dude. On the animation.
All right, that'll be the foreshadowing.
Yeah, we do foreshadowing. That's amazing. That's amazing.
All right, that's all I gotta say about that. And also, what would actually like and subscribe first?
Yeah, there you go. Like
we gotta
and
do that
subscribe.
stuff first.
Like and subscribe.
Hit the bell for more
Hit the
notifications.
notification bell. Share it, especially if you have the share button. So
Sharing is caring.
Yeah, sharing is
All right,
caring.
sharing is caring.
And you can follow me on the gram at IamGorilla1.
You can follow me at ScottT with 3 E's.
Yes, and you can follow the Tip Network, consolidated on every social media
Yes.
platform. Tip Network.
THPP Network.
THPP
And what would the question of the day be?
Who is your favorite comedian?
Who is your favorite comedian?
Yes, that's the question. Who is your favorite comedian? Okay. It's been a ride. This one was hilarious. Thank you very much. And ask yourself one burning question.
Are we gonna get shadow banned?
Yes. Booty in your face.
All right. Peace out.
Bonnie no wet day. Bonnie no wet day. Bonnie no wet day. Day.